Golden State Warriors have a buzzer beater waved off.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
I hate Tommy Lauren. Okay. Continue.
That's fair. The Warriors have a buzzer beater waved off in the waning seconds of a game in which they absolutely should have won, but there is a lot more that went down, obviously leading up to that point. Tarantinoing the whole thing, working backwards to all the way to going forwards. Before that happened, Chris Paul was on the bench for the last 6 minutes and 17-ish seconds of the game. Very interesting.
Was it that little? I thought it was actually more.
Because he checked in the fourth for about 3 minutes, like from 11. It might have been the last 8-9 minutes. Semantics at this point, but he was out for the most important 5-minute stretch of the game where they possibly would have needed him. They actually didn't, I guess, in this case. Before that, Draymond Green is actually now going under an MRI for a knee injury, which should concern many Warriors fans because his value to the team is through the effing roof as he was playing point guard and getting 12 assists at some points during that game. And before that, the Warriors were scoring 71 points in a half, which is not normal. They were doing it through 3 quarters on 71.8% true shooting, which is an absurd number. And they shot 53% from both 3 and the field, yet they lost, and a loss is a loss. However, I do believe with Draymond Green on the floor, they don't lose that game because I think he is that important. Real quick, we'll get to Chris Paul's quote and then a picture of KD's buzzer beater. I'm a hell of a cheerleader, man. We've got Eric Gordon on the bench. You know what I mean? Paul said. I was like, yeah, EG, get me. That's what this team is capable of with our depth. You can push through it as much as you want to, but you don't have to.
It's just super funny hearing Jason go, can you go back to the quote real quick for 1 second? It's just funny to hear Jason go, I was like, yeah, EG, get me. That's what the team is capable of. Yeah. It was just funny.
Reading the quote,
like Chris Paul was like, I was like, yeah, EG, get me. And Jason's like, I was like, yeah, EG, get me. That's what the team is capable of. I thought it was funny.
How did you do it?
No.
No.
I can do a Dave Kohler.
How did you do it just a second ago? You don't want to say it anymore, do you?
No, I actually don't remember what I just said.
You were like, yeah, EG, get me.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, EG, get me. And you were just like, I was like, yeah, EG, get me. That's what the team is capable of.
Right, fair enough.
It's just funny hearing you talk about
as for the game itself.
All right.
Do you think the Rockets had? God, that sounds the wrong way.
Here are my immediate reactions.
Were you surprised the Rockets won that game, given what you saw through 3 quarters? Because they did keep it close. I mean, even when they were down 13-15, they were hitting threes.
Even with, so we view Golden State as this finely tuned machine.
They are.
Where even if they lose 1 player, we still think, oh, there's no way they're blowing this lead. They blew a humongous lead. Now again, it's 1 game. However, we think that, okay, when 1 player goes out, the team is going to pick themselves up and they have this depth and they signed Swaggy and they got traded Jordan Bell and now Jordan Bell is like front runner for MVP considering all the headlines that I'm kidding, but like considering all the headlines that he's getting.
No, Swaggy's the MVP.
Swaggy's the MVP.
Come on.
So
don't confuse the headlines.
No. Kevin fucking Looney is the MVP.
I actually like Kevin Looney.
I just like his name.
I like Looney McCaw. I like these guys.
It's like me being Larry Jew.
Larry Jew. I see your point.
So it's surprising to see them blow the lead. So yeah, of course, I was a little surprised. James Harden is still doing James Harden things. Eric Gordon is a 6th man of the year, Indiana University, which I don't even think is fair to say anymore if someone goes to that school for 1 year. I shouldn't even say it anymore. So Eric Gordon, 6th man.
Still IU.
Eric Gordon, 6th man. James Harden doing his thing. They picked up when Chris Paul was out of the game with a knee injury. I also saw that this team didn't really lose a stride by not having Patrick Beverley, Chicago, Illinois, who is now, of course, on the Los Angeles Clippers, known for hurting Russell Westbrook, but also playing incredible defense. So with the Draymond injury, it can't be undermined enough since I haven't really addressed it. He's very, very important. I just thought that they would be able to keep the lead and sustain the lead when he went out with a knee injury.
Did not. The second they said he was.
And now he's getting an MRI.
MRI, which is concerning. The second they said that Draymond Green was not coming back into the game is the second I knew that this game was not going to end with a 10 or more point blowout or any kind of blowout at all, 20-point blowout. There is all the evidence in the world. I will send you to the Hoops Lab. Just go see our friend Andre's articles about what the Warriors do with Draymond Green and what they are incapable of doing without Draymond Green. You can take Steph or KD off of the Warriors. All together now, we get it. Clay, Steph, KD, Draymond, this core four with whatever you want to put Zaza Pachulia, or they run that death lineup of Andre Iguodala in there too.
Who also wasn't.
Was also not playing.
Yeah.
They run that death lineup. It's called a death lineup because it's going to win them more effing championships. There's nothing you can do to stop it. However, if you told me one of these four players has to stay at all costs and cannot leave the game, I'm having Draymond on that floor. He is the defensive player of the year.
You have him over Kevin Durant?
Yes, I would, because one of the reasons, one, the Warriors, again, they won a title without Kevin Durant on that team. Okay. They still could technically win a title even in the West this year. They have a good enough team without Kevin Durant. Without Draymond Green, they cannot compete to the same level. They can't. The value, his plus minus on the floor is the most.
Are you big on plus minus?
Yes, I think it's one of the best statistics to ever be created.
Really?
Yes. Okay. What plus minus means is it's one.
No, I know what it means.
Yeah, but what it means.
I didn't know how much weight it holds for you.
It holds possibly the most weight.
Really?
Yes.
In the NBA?
Yes. It's more important than points per game. It's more important than assists or total rebounds, and the reason for that is a guy like Shane Battier, who was so good in the way that Draymond Green is so good, so sound defensively, doing the grunt work that nobody else wants to do, that it was no mistake that when Shane Battier was on the floor, the team was much better. This is the same effect that Steph Curry has on the floor with the Warriors. That even though he had a down season last year, when Steph Curry was on the floor, the Warriors played a lot better. The whole team was more efficient. Everything worked better. When Draymond Green is on the floor, opposed to when he's not, the team is simply not the same because Draymond Green can do fucking everything. Now, if you took Draymond Green and put him on the Indiana Pacers, no, it wouldn't be the same thing. A lot of people want to say, well, Draymond Green, it's everybody on that team and the system that was built is a perfect place for Draymond Green to be the nucleus. It's just how Steve Kerr made the system work. So when you lose the Defensive Player of the Year, yeah, it's not that surprising that the Rockets were able to take that momentum. There was also a referee that went down, and one of the broadcasters
carried off the floor.
I know, but one of the broadcasters made a very smart point, saying the players now have to use their heads even more, be more savvy. Know where that third ref would have been. You start hooking players, you start grabbing players because they're not going to call it, which was smart. So I even just want to watch back the tape of that fourth quarter to see like which players were taking advantage, as they should. As they said, even, who is it, David Aldridge, like, if you're a hooper, man, you take advantage of that. So I believe that without Kevin Durant or Steph Curry or Klay Thompson, any one of those three, the Warriors would have still won that game as long as Draymond Green was on the floor.
I think what this proved was that Klay Thompson is the fourth most important player, where I'm now changing my tune just by seeing it, not only through the past, but also this one game.
I think at times Draymond Green is the most important player on the Warriors, and at no time is he the fourth most important player.
I think with Kevin Durant improving his defense, I still think that he is the most important player because he is perfect for the modern day NBA of being a 7-foot scorer and also trying to at least limit/take out the opposing team's best offensive player.
Right.
So if I were to go in order, I'd probably say the only area we disagree is saying that Draymond Green is the most important. I still think Kevin Durant is, but I would probably put Draymond 2 at this point. But they think that they have the replacement in Jordan Bell, so everything's fine.